Guys, how's it going? It's Tyron here, and today we're here with a game called Arcadia. So this is another visual novel game, so quite eager to see how it goes. That being said, let's kick off the show. There's something that I hate about this city. Maybe it's the staleness of the air, or the lack of available parking. If I have to choose one thing though, it's the people. They all look the same, with everyone swiping the air through for their RA rigs. I can't stop hiccuping. Most of the time they really bump into you, barely acknowledging you as they keep going. Society really likes the shiny stuff, and those AR rigs are no exception. Admittedly, the tech is pretty interesting, but it's just a pain in the ass to move around everyone while they're clearly focused on something else. No one talks. No one takes a walk anymore. Now you have to be on your rig for the game or a phone call. It's really stifling to me. I want to talk to people, but no one's ever without a device these days. I'd give anything to get out of this city at this point. Maybe head out of state, get a new job, that sort of thing. A fresh start. A place that hasn't caught the AR plague. I guess you'd call me a hipster, but I wouldn't be offended if you did. I like the way people did things back in the 90s and the noughties. Without a bunch of bombardment by shiny tech that commands your attention 24/7. And that's what this place is, the Arcady Jazz Club. It's all about. Okay, I got a job as a waiter here, mainly because I wanted to soak in the atmosphere. A breath of fresh air away from the stagnant city outside. Parker, my boss, manages the club exactly the way I like it. He's cultivated a unique atmosphere. Good afternoon, Roman. Good to see you. Ready for another night shift? As ready as I'll ever be. How are the crowds today? Same as usual. Oh, I have a new waitress who I need you to help train on some of the stuff in the back. She's coming in soon. Turns out she's an AR performer too, so I hope to have her bring a crowd every once in a while. I grimace. What's up that look? AR performers? Parker, really? I thought this was a more traditional jazz club. Well, I never said that. I got a friend in the industry, so I decided to buy an older model from him for cheap a few months ago. I just never got around to using it. But I have a business to run, so I have to try to cater to what's popular out there. She showed me a few numbers. Apparently she has a decent fan base. Who's to say that they're real? You've seen these news articles about celebs getting outdated because they're botnets to boost their numbers. Ha! When I interviewed her, she dropped a line on me too. But no, she reassured me that her followers are in fact real flesh and blood humans. Relax, Roman. I draw crowds here. You know what that means. More tips? That's the spirit, Roman. Now she's going to be coming in about half hour. If you can set up the AR stage for her when she gets here, that would be huge. Sure. What's the console? Or where's the console? In the back. Just hit switches 3 and 7 and get the lights on when she asks you. Okay, 3 and 7. Well, I guess it's better paid work than my last job. Soon, the evening crowd moves in, ordering drinks and dinner. My ears eventually picked up a fragment of conversation. I wonder if she's performing here tonight. She said in the last vlog that she's working on getting the second gig ready for this week. Yeah? Sweet. It would be nice to meet her. I wonder if they're talking about the new waitress slash vocalist. Who is she? I wonder. Okay. Even without AR rigs, I barely followed much of the way to the pop artists. Maybe she's as famous as Parker said she was. Now we should see what the work here... What? Though, why would she want to work here anyway? Whatever. If Parker says he'll bring a crowd, I guess I'll play along. Roman, forgot to mention. Remember that monthly meeting tomorrow, right? Yeah, I remember. This is my first one. Anything I can expect? Nah, nothing that won't surprise you. Hopefully. Just checking. By the way, the girl just walked in. I'll have her meet you once, but she's clocked in. Okay. True to his word, in a few moments I catch the sound of footsteps approach me from behind. I turn around and catch a sight of just who it is who I'll be working with. She's wearing her uniform, but the sleeves are made of a trendy, semi-transparent fabric. Hey there, Parker, said to talk to you. I've heard that voice before. Ah, nice to meet you. Wait, I know that face. Oh my god, Roman? She, whatever that was, that phrase is exactly how I remember it. It never left me, no matter how much I tried. My body tenses in apparation. Fancy meeting you here, Eris. Likewise. You grew a beard, looks nice. It's clear she doesn't like it. Did it myself, made a project out of it. I got lazy and decided to save money by not shaving, and she knows it. So, want to show me around, or what the fuck are you doing? A million questions are racing through my head, but knowing Parker and effectively knowing Eris, I do my best to push away the ensuing conflict. The topic will come eventually down the line. Just give me a sec with this. What is it? An AR platform Parker bought a few months ago. Says it's for you. What? That old thing? That's at least 2 years out of date. Should still work, right? For your performances. Jeez. Since when did you become such an old fogey? You used to eat and breathe this stuff back at the art tech with me. We had a lot of fun with that Greenway project, remember? Wow, and here I thought you hated it. What? I mean, you'd go on and on about how Ted couldn't get his shit together, or that I wasn't taking this project seriously enough. Am I wrong? Do I get this tour or not? Yeah, sure, sorry. Eris follows me to the kitchen. Have you taken orders yet? Not really, my first shift's about serving tables. Perfect, let me show you how it's done. When you get an order, just pin it up here on the rack and the cooks will take care of it. Unfortunately, there's no cool lingo. Cool lingo? You know, like the short lingo order cooks use. A cup of mud being a mug of coffee, for example. What are you talking about, dude? I was hoping I could have some fun with her, but same cold exterior as always. Just make sure you get the order right. Cooks here hate it when you screw up. Like not asking for a cup of mud? She's not going to let me live that down, it seems. Okay, forget that. Next to the employee console. I proudly show her the touchpad with the current time and a few buttons. Just find your name on the employee list, hit the login button, and your time will be recorded for your shift. Parker really wants everyone to punch in and out as soon as they can, so keep on top of that. He gets pissed if you miss your time, says the label paperwork isn't worth it. Aside from that though, Parker's pretty relaxed about how things are run here. There's a few ground rules he's said to basically everyone. Don't start fights. Don't get drunk. Let him handle the people that won't leave you alone. If you follow these rules, you're good to go. Okay, that's basically the tour. Any questions? Seems short. I'll give it 2 out of 5. Any questions? I'm fine. It won't be hard to figure out the rest from here. She gives me a hard look, almost as if she's reminiscing on what to say. Thanks. Shit, I thought I was done for. I thought I was dealing with people like her. So, finished already? You didn't put her through the paces too much, I hope. Roman, you okay? Okay, it's nothing. It's nothing. He doesn't seem convinced. Take a quick break from me, okay? Don't want you to scare anywhere to climb with that look on your face. Sure thing. Man, this sucks. How did she even find this place anyway? Memories of the past come flooding back to me. Arguments over deadlines, panic over drowned servers, angry PMs breathing fire down our backs. Jeez, and she wonders why I quit. I could really use a smoke right about now. Grabbing my coat from the break room, I leave the Tarshan sanctuary for the world outside. Perhaps people will give me something to keep my mind off Eris. Knowing her, that's probably not going to happen. Hello? There you go. Arcadia. Okay, so that was pretty much the plot prologue of the game. You have arrived. I know I've arrived. The building is right in front of me. I don't know what drives me to the same conversation with my car every day. It just keeps happening. Sorry about that. Your feedback is important to us. If you'd like to... Before I can finish, I'll turn the car off. I don't go out immediately though. The events of yesterday are still playing on my mind. What are the chances that Eris, of all people, would have started working at Arcady just a few weeks after me? I sit for a while, mulling this thought over, getting nothing more out of it. Eventually, I give up and step outside the car. It's a short walk to the back door, though before I step inside, I reach into my pocket to get a quick smoke in. However, as I pull out the crumpled cigarette packet, shit. Of course I'm out. I frustratingly toss the packet in one of the outdoor bins and make my way into the club. Before that though... My eyes turn back into a yellow bin next to the door, one that had a nose on the previous opening shifts. Why is there a third bin just sitting here all of a sudden? Lifting the lid reveals just how new this empty bin container really is. It's pristine. Because of the city's emphasis of augmented reality signage, there are now discriminable labels on the outside. Curiosity gets the better of me as I pull out my phone. I'm far too frustrated to take care of what I'm doing as I mashed open my phone's pre-installed AR reader. I take a few steps back, throw my arms in front of me, and impatiently wait for a few seconds it takes to register the information in front of me. Even a bland back alley like the one behind Arcadia is the subject of importantly mindless and redundant information. Parking information, electrical equipment, advertisements, and every single possible facet of life, whatever that word is, within the phone screen. My one point of focus, however, is simply on the third green bin that had appeared out of nowhere, and not on the fact that I'm currently out of cigarettes. It's this simple reason that I might be walking into work for a few minutes late. I glare hard at the bin's electronic UI design, trying to discern what on earth is next to the bin. Then realization hits me. The bin is for recycling electronics. Which means after this time, Parker finally decided to make Arcadia a safe space to dump old electrical equipment. Times really are changing. I put my phone away, take a few deep breaths, and uncomfortably make my way inside to start the day. Morning, Rowan. Good morning, Parker. I make my way to the cupboard behind the bar and grab a bucket of mop from underneath it to begin the day's work. Do you sleep alright? I was hoping my attempts at looking busy might reduce the risk of small talk, so no such luck. Yeah, fine, thanks. Oh, good. I thought you might have had a lot on your mind. Is he talking about what I think he's talking about? Emerging from behind the bar, I slapped the sloped mop down on the floor, a little harder than necessary, splashing my pants with soapy water. I take a specific effort not to scowl when I look back up at Parker. I'm not sure I'd totally pull it off. What makes you say that? Well, you know. Looks at me suggestively, yeah. He's totally talking about what I think he's talking about. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt, though. Haven't the foggiest. All that business with you and Eris yesterday. Ha. The bitter, bark-like laugh I admit bellies the air of levity I meant to construct. It was nothing. But of course, Parker isn't going to accept that. Come on, Rowan, I'm not stupid. There's something going on there. The moment you recognized her, you went all tense. You cut the air with a knife. I'm not sure where you're getting this from, Parker. There's nothing going on between me and Eris. And besides, if there were, it is really anything to do with you. That was the wrong thing to say. His words are heavy with sarcasm. Oh, my apologies. Please do forgive me for prying into your personal life. But unfortunately, it is my business. I've had staff with history before. It's a pain in the ass. They either waste half the day fraternizing in the store cupboard, or they can't walk 50 feet of each other without frightening the customers. So what's it gonna be with you? We just worked together in the past, that's all it is. Come off it, Rowan. Don't hold out on me. Just tell him. He may as well get off his back. Fine, she made my time at the old place a living hell. From the start, she was constantly second-guessing me. I couldn't get a damn word in the whole time. The minute I made a suggestion, it was like, ridiculous, it can't possibly work. Or did you even think that through? It's so stupid. And I swear she never had time to actually think about whatever the fuck I had to say. I don't remember what that actually disagreed over, but I'd already built up so much for momentum after that. I don't know what she went through to have the impression that she could constantly shut me down like that. But it was just so, she's impossible. Don't get me wrong, I tried to cooperate with her, I really did. Do you know what it's like to work with someone who would never give you any quarter? When it comes like that, you have to consider, you have to even consider not once that you might have some sort of value. Brandishing a finger, I realised how loud my voice had gotten, and nothing to lower it. She had no right to be my superior. We were hired at the same time, all at the same level. And don't get me started on... Rowan, calm down. His voice is forceful, and my voice bounces off the walls on the entire bar. Lingering in the air, and ringing in my ears, I feel my cheeks burn. I wasn't... Parker's expression isn't one of shock, but a combination of understanding and disappointment. You know, you just confirmed exactly what I was worried about, don't you, Rowan? If working with Eris is going to be this hard for you, then we have a problem. Parker, no, it's not like that. He raises his eyebrows. That shit is all in the past. I want to move past it, I do. Do I? Yeah. Amidst Parker's confusion, I answer myself out loud. Parker looks as though he wants to hear more, so I keep talking. I can already hear the lack of conviction in his voice. Could he? Oh, in my voice. There's no sense in holding on to stuff from the past like this, and getting angry for something that happened long ago just isn't going to do any good. He looks satisfied enough. Wise words, mind you live by them. He fixes on me with a knowing stare of beats before continuing. I am surprised to hear you and Eris have such a turbulent history. To be honest, I didn't really expect anything like this to happen when I was bringing her on board. Even when I mentioned you during our interview. I probably couldn't talk about that with you. He hastens to fix his slip-up, but I'm not about to let that go. You mentioned me to Eris before she started. What'd she say? I just said I can't talk about it with you. It's private. Now, nothing is against my employee law, right? Considering the circumstances. And you spoke about me. Surely you have the right to know what it was about. I hardly have an in-depth knowledge of employment law, though I'm hoping Parker has very little understanding as well. That or a kind heart? Well, alright. I just mentioned your name in passing. You know, we're mentioning some of the staff during the hiring interview. When I came to your name, she sort of fixated on it. And? We didn't really linger on the subject. She said that she worked with you before, and that you were, what was it now? Actually, just sort of trailed off. Coming to his senses, some sharpness returned to his voice. Not that's any of your business. But I've heard all I need to know. I don't know what I expected. Should I have been offended at her choice of words describing me? Is that she barely cares, or was what she had to say too rude for Parker to repeat? I don't expect any trouble to come of this, Rowan. Eris is now as valued here as you are. He says this firmly, but not unkindly, and not exactly kindly either. Let's get back to it then. The crowds will start arriving soon. I do as he says, taking the mop I'd left leaning against the side of the bucket. As Parker disappears into the back office, I left pondering the history of my words. Yeah, so me and Eris have a rough history, but I do really need to bother myself with that. Maybe now is time to let bygones be bygones. This is supposed to be the start of a new chapter, or something like that. God, that sounds pretentious. I don't know, it's hard to forget a rivalry like that. Because a rivalry is what we had. Shit, this is what is so hard to define the real words. Eris never did anything that could really call offensive to me. We were just so different in the way we work. That very kind of cooperation is what seemed impossible. For the sake of the job, it is time to put some actual effort in. I'm done with the AR tech, so having a co-worker with different views doesn't mean they're out to destroy my work, right? Who knows? After a few hours, I hear Eris making her way into work, but thankfully managed to avoid conversation by making sure I'm not working on the opposite side of the room. As I'm replacing the last burned out tea light, my phone vibrates. A message from Parker. Meeting in 10. See me at the bar. Delivered by AR Tech. I spend another few minutes straightening the already straightened tables before feeling like I might be pushing it and head to the bar. As I approach, I see no sign of Parker, but Eris is there already. I seal myself and walk into the waiting jaws of the abyss. Rowan? Eris? I see what Parker meant about the atmosphere between us now. I really can't avoid how tense this is. A few seconds of silence are all the excuses I need. I head behind the bar and grab a low ball glass and a bottle. As I pour myself more than a dram of pleasant looking Islay, 12-year. Eris cloaks her tongue like an angry chicken. Isn't it a little early for that? Sun's over the yardum. What does that mean? What, you don't know what a yardum is? Before having to reveal that I don't know either, I move on. You have any idea what Parker wants to talk to us about? Nope. I raise my glass and take a nose, and then sip. It's not bad, rich and quite smoky. Careful now, you don't want to break Parker's second rule here. He's picking a fight, but I don't really have anything to say to Eris. My thoughts return, and they have throughout the whole afternoon. Parker said to me earlier, but the thoughts are mostly psychical, I haven't pronounced that, and meaningless. Is this going to be a problem for you, me working here? I look up from the glass in shock, but before I can reply, Parker emerges from the back office. He glances at the whiskey in my hand next to me and gives me a slightly disapproving look. He says nothing. Okay, monthly meeting, let's see. He pulls out a small rig-bound pad and a stubby pencil. During these meetings, I just like to take stock of things. How are you doing as a team, and listen to any concerns you have. Usually, I'd involve the whole staff, but I'm going to talk to the rest of them later. There's something I want to pick your brains about, specific like. Your mutual background in AR Tech, thank you for sharing that time with me. By the way, whether or not it is deliberate, wish I could use your advice. Well, look at that. We're only a few days here, and I'm already being asked how to run the business. Her arrogance spikes my irritation. This is clearly not shared by Parker, who merely looks politely amused. What do you need my advice on, Parker? He lets out a sigh that wants for aggression to be real. It's, well, I'll be honest with you two. I think the club could be performed better. Don't get me wrong, we're not in the risk of going under or anything like that. I just think we have the captivity to see more people come through the doors. I'm not really sure why. I'm figuring out why that might be, and how we can make it better. I think you might be able to help with that. There's a pause as Parker looks expectantly at us. So, any ideas? I'm not sure what to say. Eris looks curious though, and pipes in. What does that have to do with our mutual background in AR Tech? Oh, nothing really. I just figured you might both be pretty smart. One of us definitely is. I get a punch in the shoulder for my trouble, to which Parker turns a blind eye. You have any idea the numbers that you would like to see? Not really. I just feel like the club isn't really keeping up with the times. Maybe a new change could do some good with the establishment. It's not a coincidence I recently hired a new AR performer such as yourself, Eris. I decide to do what I can to provide a great service for my customers. Sure, I understand. I could definitely promote the place on social media, maybe bring in the crowd to keep things fresh. That's good and all, but I think we'll need something more if we want to see things to be considerably higher. My mind is still racing over the idea that Eris is performing as a singer. This entire conversation is beginning to bug the hell out of me. Who cares about whether or not we're keeping up with the times? We play jazz and serve decent booze. What needs to change? Parker tries to reply, but Eris cuts in before he gets the chance. You can't expect people to keep coming back for the same old stuff every day. People like different things, and sometimes new and exciting might be exactly what this place needs. Of course, oh, fucking hell. Of course, like always, she would direct attention to herself. Well, they're definitely not going to keep coming back if in this place. A jazz club stops playing jazz. Before you two keep going on, I really just need a definitive and solid idea to work from. Is that something you could potentially work together on? Not necessarily. In addition to promoting Arcadia, I could also try to up to my performance quality. How? For my last performance, I didn't engage the audience enough. It could definitely stand to have some more excitement to it. People don't come here to be shouted out from the stage. You want to sit back and enjoy some jazz and a drink. I'm not going to shout at them. I just want them to know I know they exist. And I think they just need to be able to appreciate the atmosphere a little more and enjoy the place itself. We should put something on. Like what? Music? No, I don't. Look around for inspiration. I don't know what this place needs. Exactly like it's lacking something. It needs a bit of. My wandering eyes land on the glass in front. I turn to Parker, who's now eyeing the same glass in my hand with suspicion. Okay, I know what to do. I think I have a plan to make this place exactly a jazz club, the way a jazz club should be. Oh yeah? And what would that be? I don't have the details just yet, but trust me, it's what this place needs. Do you really expect this to go along with the plan of yours when you don't even know what the plan is? I do know what the plan is, or I know what it involves, I think. Look, Parker, I can sort it out. Tomorrow night I might just need to bring in a few things. What do you say? I don't know what I'm saying yes or no to, Rowan, but that didn't exactly fill me with confidence. Wait a minute. Is my idea completely off the table for this imaginary idea then? Of course not, Rowan, just... Interrupting him, I let a string of words fly out of my mouth without processing exactly what they mean. But Eris is once again a threat that I need to dispatch. We'll have a competition. There's a moment's silence, immediately broken by Eris laughing harshly. A competition? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. I come close to saying, are you scared you will lose, before realizing I'm not 12. Oh, I just thought that was a joke. Ignoring her, I turn again to Parker. What do you think? It looks thoughtfully at for a moment. Funnily enough, that's pretty close to what I wanted to talk about next. This thing of starting an employee of the month sort of thing. You know, give all the bit of motivation. Perhaps this competition of yours could play into that. Eris' expression says quite clearly, you've got to be kidding me. This moves my thought of the subject, but instead I decide to look potentially interested. There'd be a small cash bonus. Yes, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Eris nods half-heartedly. I could get on board with that. So how's it going to work? How's it judged? Don't worry yourself about that. I'll take a survey from the patrons or something. I just want you to, tomorrow night, to do whatever it is you have planned. You, Eris, with the audience engaged, and you, Rowan, with your, what a jazz club should be, whatever thing it is. Tomorrow night? Well, no, not both of you at once. Perhaps Rowan should give his idea first. No problem. Oh my god, Rowan. Lowering my cockiness, she crosses her arms, looking at me with murder in her eyes. Fine, okay, Parker. I'll go for the day after. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Looks between us both, smiling, but clearly sensing the tension in the air. Ahem. Well, that's kind of killed two birds with one stone. I'll leave you to it. We open in a bit, so make sure the place is ship-shape, okay? As Eris and I stare daggers at one another, Parker once again tries to intervene. Is this going to be another problem between you two? I really can't have this becoming a big thing. Because God help me if I made it worse. Actually, you know what? Maybe putting you two against each other wasn't the best idea. Why not just... No, it's fine. It's not going to be a problem. Another awkward pause. Maybe this is exactly what you need. Parker looks skeptical, his eyes darting once again between Eris and I, but eventually he sighs. Fine. I have a feeling I'm going to regret this, but fine. You two go ahead. He heads back into the office, and I hear the door closing behind him. Neither of us watch him go. We're stuck staring at one another like a cat unsure of who's going to pounce first. Unexpectedly, Eris lets out a laugh. This is kind of silly, isn't it? What do you mean? All of this because of some old rivalry. What? It's nothing to do with that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You wouldn't get off my case. You wouldn't get off mine. Christ, Rowan. How aggravated. Eris slips a hand inside her pocket and pulls out a sleek, black e-cigarette. You know you can't do that indoors. You're not allowed to drink, and I'm not breaking any Parker's rules. Eris inhales the vapor and frustratingly gulps down whiskey that's become warmer from the heat of the tense grip. After a long inhale, she produces a thick, white cloud from her nose and mouth. Oddly, it doesn't smell sickly sweet like an e-cigarette vapor usually does. You know, that's tobacco flavored. Do they really still make those e-cigs? You aren't the only one who can appreciate the past. But there's such a thing as taking it too far. He takes another puff. What exactly are you planning for tomorrow, really? I have it worked out. I'm trying to convince myself as much as her. What about you? I don't know. It's my very first night with performing, but already the crowd is getting to me. What do you mean? They're a pretty chill bunch, totally harmless. Well, yeah, that's the problem. They were floating in there, barely taking in any of it. They sat in their chairs and looked vaguely in the direction of the stage. Eyes glanced over, poised themselves for a few hours, and then left. I just wanted some of that to give a shit about what I was doing up there. Because I give a shit. You know what it's like to put your heart and soul in this performance, only to have it met with positive interest? What about you when they hear the loudest applause coming from the staff, the people paid to be here? I'm certainly never had an applaud me before. That's right, you wouldn't. You didn't even catch the performance, did you? Experience that kind of feeling is horrible. I don't know if something I'm doing wrong or what. I've got to find a way to change it. Huh. What? I'm not sure that was the best moment to laugh. Now it's exactly by choice. So is that really all we are? The people just out for others to give a shit? Eris gives me a hard look. No, Warren, we aren't even close to being the same. And takes another long drag. I don't know why I'm doing this, but listen. Fuck Parker's Employee of the Month thing, who cares? Let's make this wage a bit more exciting for both of us. What are the stakes? Okay, so now you're constantly going out about wanting to get out of the city and start fresh, all that jazz. I can't deny that. If you win, if Parker gives you your Employee of the Month instead of me, I'll pay for you to get out. We'll go halves on it, whatever you need. Okay, that's incredibly generous. Assume there's a catch. You won't give me that much money. Naturally, if I win, she puffs her e-cigarette, the thick mist floating almost between us. You have to go back to AR Tech. You have to reapply. I know they'll take you back. Why? Why the hell would I do that? Because you're wasted in this place. I just don't want to go back to doing what you were good at. I mean, you were brilliant. Why did you decide to work in this place anyway? Seems to be an extreme career change from software development. Gives me a good few seconds to produce an answer, but not one is coming forth. Mine is racing in all kinds of directions. Is this why you applied? Give it up. I don't know what's going on with you, but when you can't justify it to yourself, you have a problem. You know how much we achieved in that place? Greenway was a huge step for our team. We have done so much already. Why would you want to go back to that? Greenway? You want to bring up Greenway? Now? Yeah, so what? Did you not feel about it the way I do? I can't even fathom how I could look back on it like that. Well, sure, you don't need to look back on it, just there's no need to completely throw it away either. Do you even care about what we did for AR Tech? I mean, you work in Neil, sound and coding. You can't forgive that part of yourself. I look at her, lost for words. After a while, she takes one long drag. Exhaling not quite in my direction, but close enough that I can still feel her face full of vape, whatever that word is. Enjoy your drink, Rowan. Okay. So we're gonna have a quite heated tension between us two. Arcadia, so I'm assuming this is like the next chapter now then. That being said though guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode here. So this has proven to be a good game so far. I'm actually really enjoying it. So if you guys do want to see more, hopefully you leave a like on the video. It helps me out greatly. That being said, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.